All right, what values make the expression undefined? We're looking for the restrictions is what that's called. So what makes this undefined is what would make the denominator of this 0 is what we're looking for. Those make it undefined. So what would make this 0? Well, what makes 3x minus 30 equal to 0? Well, could you just solve it? Could some of you just see it? Yeah, but if you just solve this, could you just add 30? And then we got 3x equals 30. And then divide by 3. X equals 10. So what the restriction is, x cannot equal 10 technically. Do you understand technically I should put not equals along? Because aren't we looking for what x cannot equal, not what equal? We're looking for undefined. So instead of say what it equals is what it can't equal. So it can't be 10. That's what we're looking for, what it can't be. Now here is another way of doing it. If I did 3x minus 30 equals 0, could you have also done it by pulling a GCF out? Could you also do that? And then can you see, then by looking at that, can you see what would make this 0 be 10? By zeros. Whichever is easier, you can choose your method. You can solve it, or you can factor out a 3 and see a 10 would be an error. And again, forgot to say, these would be not equals, technically, which you mean that x cannot equal 10. So two ways to say it. Again, there's two different sides. Your choice. So for this problem, again, we want to look at the bottom. We don't care about the top. We just care about the bottom creating zeros. So we don't want w squared minus w minus 30 cannot equal 0. Now to solve this one, you have to factor. Use factoring. So we're going to use this is one of the easier factoring techniques. We put negative 30 on top, negative 1 on bottom. Let me see, is that negative 6 and 5, or is that, what is that? Is it negative 6 and 5? Negative 6 and 5? Yes. So w minus 6 times w plus 5 cannot equal 0. Now some of you remember that, isn't it just the opposites are what makes it 0? Some of you can tell your answers are 6 and negative 5. You're done. That's your restrictions. But some can't. So what I do is I say, okay, w minus 6 cannot equal 0, nor can w plus 5 cannot equal 0, and we solve these individually. Now some of you don't have to do this last step because you know just by looking. But if you can't just see it, you add the 6 over. W cannot equal 6. You minus the 5 over. W cannot equal negative 5. So my restrictions for this are 6 and negative 5. Meaning, if I were to plug 6 for w, or negative 5 for w, it would create a 0 on the bottom, causing an error, because we are not allowed to divide by 0 when it comes to fractions. Something to think about with logs. Remember with logs, you weren't allowed to have zeros and negatives inside? Remember radicals, you're not allowed to have negatives inside? Everything has this extraneous issue, things that don't work. And fractions, their issue is zeros in the denominator. Things to watch out for.